Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for taking the time to be with us at Wistar. Some of you might be familiar with our organization. Wistar has been, for over 100 years, has been advancing innovation, research, and discoveries. You know, vaccines and immunotherapies that started here as research tools eventually ended up in the, on the market as safe and effective drugs. And that happened through partnership, public-private partnerships, collaboration, and synergy. And so those are the same principles and it's the same spirit that animates our educational mission. For over 20 years, we partner with community colleges to develop and deliver innovative STEM programs. These are students who have families. These are students who work jobs in order to support their children. These are students that are trying to retool their profession and their career. And let me be clear on one point. Our programs are not charity. These are not gifts. What we're trying to do is to give these students the tools that they need in order to advance in their career and their progression. And once they have those tools, they're theirs forever, and they stay with them. And so it's not just about classroom learning. It's not just about a piece of paper that says that somebody got a degree. It's really hands-on training. It's hands-on education, really at the interface between education and job creations in the life sciences. And this is our contribution to our region. The Philadelphia area wants to become a hub for biotechnology, wants to attract pharmaceutical industries and biotechs. At some point, you need somebody to staff those laboratories. And that's what this program has done and continues to do so successfully, especially for women and underrepresented minorities. So it's a great pleasure and privilege now to introduce U.S. Assistant Secretary for Economic Development Administration, Alejandra Castillo. Alejandra, thank you for coming.
I think I have a different run of show, but I am going to be delivering some remarks from Senator Casey. Senator Casey says, congratulations to the Wistar Institute on this award to create an apprenticeship program to give students hands-on experience in the science field. Philadelphia is a beacon of science and medical research, and this program will bring more skilled workers to our world-class institutions. I thank the Economic Development Administration for recognizing the important work Wistar has done to train our next generation of workers and allowing them to grow Southern Pennsylvania's workforce. These are the words of Senator Casey, Senator of Pennsylvania. And I think I have to introduce the Congresswoman, Congresswoman Scanlon.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. For the last decade, Philadelphia's regional economy has been driven by a dynamic eds, meds, and tech sector, and Wistar Institute has been at the center of it. So I'm excited to be here today for this program as we all work to advance the Philadelphia region's success in the health and life science industries. I want to congratulate Wistar for being awarded the STEM Talent Challenge Grant, and I want to thank the U.S. Economic Development Administration for choosing Philadelphia as one of only 8 recipients across the whole country for receiving the STEM Talent Grant. You know, Wistar has been leading the way in our region for years to develop our regional talent pipeline, and that aligns with my office's interest in forging closer relationships between the jobs we're developing in this region and the talent we have in this region, and making sure that people who live here are prepared to take the good jobs that are coming to this area. And I'm particularly pleased to be here today because I understand that many of the students involved in this program are students at Cheney University, which of course is also in the Pennsylvania's 5th District and is also the oldest HBCU in the country and is doing really great work in terms of realigning its mission and development to make sure that the students coming out of Cheney are ready to take these great jobs in the biotech industry. So thank you all for being here, and thank you so much for recognizing Wistar with this award.
He knows he needs no introduction.
No. This is, I did want to say, this is a mayor who is dedicated to expanding education and workforce development opportunities for everyone in the city. This is what he lives and breathes, and it needed no introduction.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Congresswoman, and good morning to everyone. And it's great to be here alongside Congresswoman Scanlon, Senator Casey's office, Congressman Dwight Evans' office, and I really want to give a warm welcome to U.S. Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Economic Development, Alejandra Castillo. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Also, again, want to recognize Dr. Altieri, the Wistar Institute, and congratulate the STEM Talent Challenge Program recipients. The life science and innovation ecosystem is booming in Philadelphia and all across the Commonwealth. Cell and gene therapy companies are starting up and growing right here in Philadelphia and the surrounding area. And there's a major demand for more lab technicians and quality science expertise, as well as other biomedical and biotechnical expertise right now for our pipelines. This industry represents an enormous opportunity as our city and region continue to recover from the economic impacts of the pandemic. Workforce development programs are critical to supporting and growing cell and gene therapy industry in Philadelphia and the surrounding area, including companies like Spark Therapeutics, Bioanalysis in Kensington, which I visited, Integral Molecular in West Philadelphia, which I believe I've also visited, and many other companies, small and large, from contract research to biotech to pharma. These are accelerated courses that bring in our industry expertise to fine-tune exactly what we teach based on the jobs that are needed. They recruit diverse and underrepresented minorities, those who are first to attend college and their families, and students who didn't know there was a path to science, yet were exposed through these particular programs. And they are all accessible, and they're accessible to all Philadelphians, and accelerated and allowing participants to graduate over 2 summers through community college versus getting a 4-year degree. Programs like these are so important to building our workforce and keeping the Philadelphia economy competitive. It's announcements like these that make me particularly proud and excited for the future of our region and for our city, and setting up the potential for the growth of our talented workforce in the future. Just two quick comments in addition to my prepared remarks. Cheney University was started in Philadelphia as ICY. I don't know if you are the Cheney students here. Well, it started in Philadelphia as ICY, which is the Institute for Colored Youth, and one of the people who was a principal of that school was Octavius Catto, whose statue is outside of City Hall now. So this continuing history, historic history of education for all is really, really important. And the other thing is somebody sent me a TikTok video of a scientist named Sarah Gilbert, who works for the National Institute of Health in Great Britain. She was at Wimbledon. She had been invited by the Wimbledon folks to go and attend at Center Court. And she was recognized and received an extended standing ovation from the people, the crowd, from the tennis crowd at Wimbledon. I wish we treated our scientists the way civilized countries treat their scientists, and understand that it's so important to have people trained and capable that can keep us safe, keep us healthy, and extend our lives. I mean, I just went through a medical procedure that had nothing necessarily to do with research, but to understand you're putting yourself in the hands of people that talented, that you trust. It's a wonderful place to be, not necessarily an hospital, but it's a wonderful place to be in Philadelphia because we have so much access to so much science and so much medical care. We should consider ourselves lucky and thankful that we have that. So congratulations again to everybody involved, and thanks for having me here. Appreciate it.
So thank you, Mayor Kenny. I'm going to argue that every medical procedure is possible today because of the biomedical research that has contributed to being safe and effective for patients. So I'm Dr. Christy Schuter-McGuire. I'm the Dean of Biomedical Studies at the Wistar Institute. And as you know, Wistar was founded in 1892 and has a long history of training scientists to do excellent work in biomedical research. We have focused more recently on students at the high school and undergraduate levels, including our biomedical technician training program, which has been around for 20 years with the Community College of Philadelphia, and now thanks to support from the National Science Foundation, advanced technical education will be expanding regionally. And then we are happy to have our program for students from Cheyney University starting at second year, and we'll be having those students come to Wistar this afternoon for their first lab of the spring semester. I am grateful for the scientists at the Wistar Institute who not only work so hard on their own research, but really take this mission of training the next generation of scientists seriously and are always willing to take scientists, young scientists at all levels into their lab. And then I'm really grateful for our new Associate Dean, Dr. David Zuzga, who just started at Wistar in the summer and is going to be the PI on this U.S. Economic Development Administration STEM Talent Challenge Grant, which will really extend the training that we are giving to students in biomedical research into the new careers and skills that are in demand in the growing life sciences industry. I'm also really grateful for all of our partners. Our partners are what make this program happen. And Mayor Kenny mentioned bioanalysis and also integromolecular. So I would like to introduce one of these partners who has been integral to our success in education and training, Dr. Sharon Willis, who is a co-founder and vice president of sales and customer relations, including partnerships with Wistar at Integromolecular. Dr. Willis.
Thank you, Christy. It's an honor to be here today, and congratulations on the grant that you received. Philly biotech is booming, particularly in the cell and gene therapy space. And the doors that programs like this open for those interested in a career in science are invaluable not only to the individuals, but to the biotech companies and pharmaceutical companies in Philadelphia. Training the next generation of scientists is critical to industry growth and success, and they are in high demand. I'm happy to say at Integromolecular, we have been a part of the BTT program since 2010. We've had 15 interns from the pre-apprentice program and 2 apprentices who started as interns and are now full-time employees, who are both here today, Kyle and Marianne. We are really, as a company, we are dedicated to programs like this offered by Wistar and other programs in the University City Sciences area. We really are very dedicated to training these next generation of scientists. And so it is now my pleasure to introduce Kyle to wrap this up. As I said, Kyle was an intern, pre-apprentice intern, then an apprentice with Integral, full-time employee now, and he was voted by his peers as MVP scientist at Integromolecular last year.
Alrighty. Hi, everyone. My name is Kyle Goldner, and I don't want to sound like too much of a cliche, but the Wistar training programs really changed my life. I entered Wistar as a community college student, a full-time auto body worker, and a food runner at a restaurant. I had also just learned that the nursing program at community college wasn't quite for me, but I did find a pure love for science while doing it and while being taught by Dr. Christy Shooter-McGuire in my genetics course. When I left the Wistar training program, I was finishing up my master's degree. I had a great experience in 3 professional labs, one at Integromolecular, one at the Children's Hospital of Pennsylvania, and one at Janssen Biologics. I also had a part-time job in one of those labs, Integromolecular, which turned into a full-time job in a few years. I had immense experiences that helped me guide my way into my future career, and I am forever grateful for that. But the Wistar Institute didn't just teach me the basics to science, they taught me how to attain my dreams as a scientist. They helped me attain each step in my professional career, starting with amazing guidance and helping me get into my grad school. I received great recommendations, I'm assuming, from Dr. Christy Shooter-McGuire. Managed to get in, so it must have worked. I also received great experiences on how to go through different techniques and different job interviews at each lab. And again, they introduced me to integral molecular, which was fantastic. Currently, I'm the immunizations project specialist at Integral. I am currently pretty happy with my position, so I can't complain much there. I do have aspirations of going to grad school one day, but it's really hard to think about school once I just got out, so that's a future Kyle issue. I would like to thank Wistar for everything that they've done. I can't thank them enough, and I could only hope that more students have the opportunity that I've had. Thank you.
So we usually do these programs differently, but it was important for this audience to see the why. What makes this program so important? So Kyle, I really appreciate the journey that you have taken so far, and I know that you're going to go to even greater heights. Let me begin by thanking Dr. Alitieri for the kind introduction before and for the Wistar Institute. The tour that we just returned from was inspiring, and as many of you know, I'm a talker and I like to ask a lot of questions. And it was just incredible. The work that you're doing, the critical thinking that you're instilling in your students, the hopes and dreams of how we can change our quality of life and resolve some of the illnesses that are challenging our society is really what makes me excited. What you do here at Wistar is critical to the future of human health, and your focus on education and workforce development is key to developing the next generation of science leaders. To say I'm impressed by your mission and work and by the people who are making it all happen would definitely be an understatement. I look forward to hearing more from your leaders, partners, and students later in the program. Before I go any further, I'd like to recognize Linda Cruz Carnell, the director of EDA's Philadelphia Regional Office, and so many of the EDA staff and members that are here today. Linda and her team are our boots on the ground, and they are dedicated to getting things done, working to help you implement your local economic development plan. So thank you, Linda, for your dedication in public service. At EDA and the Department of Commerce, we know that it is our innovators and entrepreneurs who are tackling the nation's challenges in medicine, clean energy, national security, and other fields. It is our innovators and entrepreneurs that translate their vision into the products and services that keep America strong and globally competitive. Supporting innovation and innovators is a priority of us at EDA, and I'm honored to be working for a president who believes in supporting American innovation and entrepreneurship, in part by building a robust, STEM-capable workforce to both help Americans access good-paying jobs and boost our nation's competitiveness in the global economy. At EDA, our STEM Talent Challenge, which is run by our Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, is a national competition that supports programs to train science, technology, engineering, and math talent. Today, I am pleased to be with you to announce that EDA is awarding $2 million in STEM Talent Challenge grants to 8 organizations across the country to strengthen innovation workforce pipeline. We are excited to be here in Philadelphia because proudly, the Wistar Institute is one of our STEM Talent Challenge grantees. Specifically, Wistar is receiving a nearly $250,000 grant to support their Quality Science Pathway Apprenticeship program. This important program will address a critical regional gap in higher education and workforce training programs to allow the greater Philadelphia region expand life sciences industry to meet its increasing workforce need. The project will undertake in partnership with Pathway for Patient Health, and we'll be hearing more about the partnership shortly. You've already heard about them. Let's have a round of applause for the Wistar and Pathway team. So it may sound like this was an easy process. It may sound like, what's the big deal? It is a big deal. There were 77 applicants for this very highly competitive process. These projects are expected to leverage an additional $2.5 million matching fund from a variety of private and public sector sources. The Wistar grant is in particular is being matched with a $250,000 locally. EDA is proud to partner with Wistar and our other STEM Talent Challenge grants recipients as they work with regional industries to build a strong workforce for tomorrow. These innovative programs not only include work and learn opportunities and mentorship, but also targeted recruitment of women, people of color, rural residents, and others from underserved communities to ensure the STEM fields are diverse, equitable, and inclusive. Ensuring that all of our communities and people are being able to participate in our economy is a passion and focus of mine. And equity is our #1 investment priority at EDA because we know that all Americans need to be able to fully participate in order to ensure that our economic recovery is strong. These grants could not become at a more important time, and we have a historic moment to invest in economic development and build back better in communities across the country. Before I close, I'd like to mention that through President Biden's American Rescue Plan, EDA was allocated $3 billion to do just that. Our American Rescue Plan program includes 6 unique opportunities, and I'd like to spotlight one in particular, and that is the Good Jobs Challenge, which continues the work that we have set out in the STEM program. It is designed to help put Americans back to work by partnering with industry, developing the training programs for the jobs of today and the jobs of tomorrow. This is a critical funding opportunity, $500 million. $500 million will be dedicated to this grant, and I encourage you to visit eda.gov to learn more about it. The application period for the Good Jobs Challenge is February 10th. And we have nearly $840 million in economic adjustment assistance, travel and tourism, and indigenous communities grants available to communities across the country. How we address the challenges we face today will largely determine the kind of economic future we will have as a region and as a country. The federal government can play a key role in this, and we are pleased to be your partners. We wish all of the STEM Talent Challenge grantees the best moving forward. And as the mayor said, I didn't know, Mayor, that you were on TikTok, but that's great. That's great. Thank you for the clarification. But it is true. It is true, Mayor. Your words rang very true in so many ways. I have to say, being here and being among all of these scientists and researchers and individuals who are passionate and committed to the health sciences is inspiring. It makes our work kind of lesser than. But I want to say that it is this type of work that's going to make the quality of our lives, of our country, truly competitive, globally as well as healthier. So I cannot even express how joyous this morning has been. And I wish all of these incredible leaders at the Wistar Institute much health, because we need you. Our country needs you. Thank you very much.
I think we'll take any questions from the audience. Nope.
For Mayor Kenny, how do bring grants like these to the city help advance it as a life sciences hub, and why are teaching skills to people so important in strengthening?
We need to, in an equitable way, make sure that every segment of our community has an opportunity to go into these fields. These are, it's not just about having a good living. It's not about having, a good paycheck or a good home. It's about having a job you go to every day where you feel like you're actually doing something to help somebody. Public service, all of us are in elected office so we can do good things for people and help people in need. But when you think about helping people with their health needs, with their physical needs, with the vaccines, with everything that we've been going through, to have that kind of reward in that kind of industry and that kind of profession, to me is wonderful. It's exciting, and I think that the kid in North Philly, and the kid in West Philly, and the kid in the Northeast and South Philly should all have, male and female, should all have that possibility to have that experience.
And the skills that the Wistar Institute is teaching these students, how does that help strengthen the workforce?
I mean, Wistar is one of the most famous institutes in the world for years and years and years. I mean, just the reputation of the institution itself, not accounting for what they teach inside the walls. I mean, gives someone that, it's like that Harvard, it's like that Ivy League, Ivy League of the science world, kind of a imprimatur. So I think it's important. Okay.
Great. One more question from a virtual audience. Dr. David Zuzga, can you go to the podium? Can you give us some details on the Quality Science Pathway Apprenticeship? It's new.
Sure. So it turns out that quality science is one of the greatest workforce needs that could potentially constrain this incredible cell and gene therapy industry. And despite this very specific workforce need, there are few, if any, formal training programs. So people do not get exposure to quality science until they're hired into the position and begin onboarding at that time. So our partner, Pathway for Patient Health, is really a consortium of chief quality officers at major biotech and pharma companies. They've developed an industry-informed curriculum that will, selfishly for them, reduce the onboarding time of their new employees. And given that the curriculum is designed by industry, it is uniquely valuable to the participants because they are gaining skills that are directly translatable to their first position in industry, and they are now super valuable to their potential employers. So this is really a win-win that is creating a local, highly specific workforce to directly serve and support the growth of the cell and gene therapy space in Philly.